Hey, deserving listeners, Love is Blind. Let's check it out.
I hope I'm the funniest one.
Right? Like, that's what you thought about.
That's just all he cares about. Even though I'm not an Instagram model. I show everybody your Instagram more than I've shown any other girl. I'm like, oh, thank you.
Thanks for the comparison.
Thank you.
Okay, I was a little confused as to what she was talking about. So Kacie, I think, by context, is talking about a guy that she used to date. And the guy is trying to reassure her by saying, I show off your Instagram more than anyone else. So she's saying, oh, thanks for that.
He just was like, I'll be here when you get back. And I've changed so much.
So proud of you.
She's saying that the guy was still open or even pursuing her. Now, we don't know what Kacie's approach was, and they edited that pretty heavily, I think. Maybe for good reasons, maybe for deceptive reasons as well. There's a chance that Kacie said something like, I haven't dated a guy in 18 months, and they're just having various conversations about various things, and she's bringing up. But the way that it looked in the edit anyway is that up until the point that she entered the pods, she was kind of in an off and on again relationship with someone, which is typically frowned upon by people. But we don't know. It certainly could be something to frown on, but I don't think there's anything wrong with having a complicated on and off relationship that is mostly off, and then you go into the pods. You know, this happened with what's his face from that one, Trevor, I think, from a few seasons back. That was, you know, way more involved than what we're hearing here. But, you know, you could go into the pods in an on and off relationship and think, I'm going into these pods hoping to find the one, so that when I come out of the pods, you know, there's no reason to be with anyone, including that on and off. I've been looking for another person for a couple years in the midst of this on and off relationship. Now, some people would say, well, you can't find your one unless you cut off that on and off relationship. That can be true, but it's not always true. You know, in the midst of looking for someone and you go for a few months without any kind of needs being met, so to speak, and even just cuddling or something, or just a good friend that knows you, you know, one thing leads to another and you're back friends with benefits. You know, things are adults, and as long as everyone's being honest with themselves and others, then, you know, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It can be, right? It can hold people back. It could hurt your partner that you're meeting in the pods if just before you went in, you know, we saw that last season with, what were their names? Anyway, remember them? Lauren, I think. Anyway, so with her, we're hearing that. We don't know what it means, though. But regardless of what the speculation is, she's saying she doesn't want to be with this guy. So, you know, that's all we really need to know.
Did you watch Love is Blind before you came on to Love is Blind?
Yeah. How'd they find you?
I actually just applied.
You did?
Yeah.
Interesting. It's always interesting to learn those details. It makes me wonder how often they talk about these topics and they just don't include in the edit, either because they don't want to break the fourth wall, so to speak, or it's just not interesting, but that's interesting.
A different reality show reached out and asked me to do that show, and I was dating him, and he told me to do it.
Your boyfriend told you to go on a dating reality TV show?
Yep.
What?
Yeah.
Interesting. Now, I wonder if he were to defend himself and say that, no, we were in an on and off relationship. We're friends mostly, and so I was just saying she should go on the show. But I don't know. I kind of trust that Kacie would frame it that way. She's basically saying that her boyfriend wanted, yeah, we don't know. I don't know. It doesn't sound good.
What a weirdo.
I could have gone on it.
That's fucked up.
It was. But that was like what was important to him.
You didn't leave your boyfriend when he told you?
Oh, she's saying it was important to him that his girlfriend be famous or something, I think, or get Instagram followers or something. We did hear her talking with Calibria about how he would show her, my goodness, I mean, piecing these things together, that he told her, look, you're the Instagram that I share with everyone, so therefore you should be appreciative of that. Or, my God.
Told you that?
No, I didn't.
Well, I mean, what was going through your mind? Because, like, that's like a just, like, you know what I mean? It's like...
Yeah, yeah, what was going through did you instantly say, okay, well, we're done? And now, this guy was treating Kacie poorly, but why would Kacie be with someone like that? Even in a friends with why? Who knows? But I like the way that Patrick is reacting. He's just like, wait, what? And he could even be a little concerned, like, wait, so you stayed with him? What does that say about you? He might not say that directly, but he could. I think he also was just asking because he's concerned and he cares about her.
I just want to,
I should have left him many times, Patrick. I guess defending him in a way, he just was like, you should go do it. We'll change your life and I'll just be here when you're back.
Did he tell you the same spiel for Love is Blind or what?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. I think Kacie's authenticity is shooting herself in the foot. I think it would help if she were to be a little selective about what she shares. If I give Kacie the benefit of the doubt, which at this point I think is warranted, maybe you've watched ahead and you know that isn't warranted, but I haven't seen anything to give me reason to believe that Kacie is deceptive or manipulative or confused or anything. But I think from context, if she were to tell the whole story, she would say, I've had this on and off relationship with this guy that I don't really want to be with. And when I'm single, sometimes it's hard for me to say no to his late night texts or whatever. And take it from me, Patrick, if we end up together, I'm never even going to talk to the guy again, or I'll say hello to him every once in a while as a friend, but I don't want to be with the guy. Something like that. Because for her to say what she just said, if you're Patrick, you're going to think, wait, so you had a boyfriend just before coming into the pods? So you have a boyfriend now?
Really? Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Yeah, he doesn't think this is going to work. He's going to be very wrong.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to set a really hard boundary with him.
I know.
You're going to have to figure that one out for sure,
Yeah, I don't know if she's intoxicated. I don't know if I detected a little bit of indication of that from her. It doesn't mean that you wouldn't understand the basis of relationships and how Patrick might feel about that. But yeah, I commend her for being honest, because we saw her talking to Calibria and she seemed to be talking about something like that. And I thought, uh-oh, she's going to lie to Patrick. And she just said it. So that's consistent with her behavior. But one, that she wouldn't detect a problem there for Patrick, empathy-wise, and get out ahead of it and say, just to let you know, like, I don't know what she would say. Maybe it would be a version of what I role-played earlier. I don't know. But also, you just think she wouldn't do something like this, or that someone wouldn't do it like this. They would go into the pods, the way that she's talking about it, this guy's like, it's not going to work. You're not going to meet someone there. And she's like, no, I am. It sounds like involvement, right? Or not, I guess they could just be friends. If we give Kacie the benefit of the doubt, they are friends with benefits that are on and off again, sort of. And there's just something about him that she has a hard time saying no to when she's single. But when she's with someone, then she has an easier time saying no. It still raises some red flags, but it wouldn't be a huge worry for me anyway. But she's not giving any context. She's just saying, yeah, I have this boyfriend that I had just before coming in. He thinks I'm not going to find one, but I am going to. What?
I figured it out. If we get engaged, I don't really care to tell him. All I actually do is care about you right now, so.
Okay, so good. She's intuiting that. I didn't give her a chance because I was yammering, so that was good.
I mean, it's marriage. It's going to be a really, really deep commitment. I ended everything that I had before I came here. I didn't make up a backup plan.
No, I don't have a backup plan.
Okay, good. I tend to think that Kacie is smart and able and wouldn't have something like that. It makes sense that Patrick would frame it that way, and maybe even kind of, it's not really a backup. It's probably not a backup plan. Like, well, if things don't work out here, I always have this boyfriend. I think it is one of those complicated relationships like Trevor was talking about. It doesn't sound as complicated, but it could. I mean, there's no reason not to think it's as complicated as Trevor's relationship. It was Trevor, right? That season with Matthew and AD and them. Anyway, so that was that season, right? Anyway, Matthew, I have America wrapped around my finger. Wait, did I say that out loud? Anyway, so, I commend Kacie for being honest. Trevor certainly wasn't, or did Trevor tell people? I mean, not on camera anyway. Anyway, it doesn't matter what Trevor did, but, because people certainly did not like Trevor for doing this. It could be the dishonesty. I don't know. But, yeah. It's a flag. It's a yellow flag for Kacie that she wouldn't have this wrapped up sufficiently, that she would even have a complicated relationship like that with a guy like that, that is saying, no, hey, babe, you're the Instagram person that I will, tell other people about. I'm constantly showing your Instagram, like, oh, thanks.
It was over either way.
This is a really big commitment, though,
Are you concerned about my commitment to you? That's a yes.
Yeah, whatever the situation with Kacie, her upfront, authentic, in the moment, spontaneous, uncomplicated communication is still at play. She's like, are you concerned? Because he's saying, it's a big commitment, and that's a passive way of saying, which is what most people do. I'm not faulting Patrick for it, but he's passively communicating, I'm a little concerned about your commitment to me. You understand this is a big commitment, right? And then she just directly asks, so are you concerned about my commitment to you? Yeah.
Maybe a little bit. I don't know.
Why?
I don't know. It's just so serious.
If you want me to block him immediately, and not tell him, I will do that.
Okay, good. Yeah. I think that we're running into this situation again where she doesn't seem to understand. I mean, she understands, but she seems surprised. Like when Patrick earlier was talking about his insecurities about being rejected just because he's Asian American. And then she's like, huh? But then her response was, it had its issues, but it seemingly worked on Patrick. And she's doing it kind of again, where she seems on the surface to not be aware of the reality of what she's saying. But then when she's confronted with it, she actually leads the whole conversation because she's helping him ask questions that he wants to ask, but isn't brave enough or doesn't know he can ask that question. And then and then he's like, yeah, that is the question I have. And then she proceeds to answer it. So I don't know what it says about her, that she's just honest seeming, authentic, spontaneous, a little unaware of the landscape. There doesn't seem to be any games, though, right? Any sort of gamemanship, which is a good thing. So I guess, if I were Patrick, I'd rather have someone that was like this than someone that was playing games, that was being selective about what they share. This raises the chance of being able to trust Kacie because she seems to be an open book when she doesn't need to be, So, yeah. I mean, there is a thing, radical honesty. Some people are doing it inadvertently. Some people are doing it on purpose. Because I'm guessing a lot of people have this, as I think I've been saying, that they have, various levels of complicated relationship heading into the pods, and they're genuinely there to meet someone. And then, there's people that we might really like on the show, like Brett and Tiffany, for example. There's a chance that one or both of them had a complicated relationship going into the pods, and then when they got out, they blocked or they just were mild friends on Instagram or whatever moving forward. And they just never showed us. I say all that because what Kacie is presenting isn't automatically some kind of indication of a problem, which people assumed that about Trevor. And I remember actually saying, we don't know. It doesn't sound healthy Trevor even said that. I'm pretty sure his name was Trevor. I'm just going to go with Trevor. I was going to look at my notes and waste time. And I was like, well, because people were kind of black and whiting it, saying like, well, the fact that Trevor was texting with someone going into the pods and then text someone right after, he clearly had a girlfriend throughout the whole thing and he wasn't there genuinely. Whereas, he was really pursuing Chelsea and then Chelsea turned him down. And so we don't know if Trevor and Chelsea had gone out and actually worked out in the end, which it's hard to imagine that happening. But, let's see that it did. There's a chance that Trevor never would have talked to her again or just texted, hey, I met someone, I'm sorry, but we're going to have to say goodbye now, da-da-da. That doesn't mean anything, really. It raises a bit of a yellow flag, but it's not a slam dunk the way that people are framing it. And I wonder what people's reaction will be to Kacie, because this is the exact situation with Trevor. And Trevor got a lot of hate just for that. Because people, remember the mullet guy? People really liked Trevor, I think. He didn't have any sort of red flags other than the mullet, just joking. And then when Chelsea broke up with him, we didn't really see him ever again. And then we found out later, and then at the reunion, they talked about it. And so I'm just really curious. I could see people not reacting as much to Kacie because Kacie, I think she might be liked by the audience. I don't know, maybe not. So I'm usually not wrong about, because I'm just going off my own kind of feeling as well, which is usually within the majority, but not always. Anyway, I'm curious as to how people are going to receive this. I'm also curious where this goes. I will say that Patrick is taking it well, and and he's absorbing it. It looks like he's seriously like, oh, okay, but he's also open, so that's a good sign. All right, well, let's adjourn there. Everyone out there, please take care of yourself, truly, because you deserve it. You truly do.